In a not-so-distant future, climate change has led to environmental collapse and severe resource shortages. Society is divided. The privileged live in comfortable, livable areas known as the New World, while the less fortunate are left in a harsh, decaying region called the Old World. Despite their privilege, even the elite face strict government regulations due to the scarcity of resources, particularly around reproduction. Couples who want children must pass a 7-day government evaluation to prove they're fit to become parents. One day, a young Mia is swimming in the ocean when she hears her mother calling from shore. Suddenly, her mother vanishes in a blink, and as Mia resurfaces, we realize she's now an adult. This moment was a flashback. Back in the present, Mia returns to her technologically advanced home. The house monitors the weather and keeps tabs on her health and activity. She enters a special room where she can explore a virtual reality world created by her husband, Arion, a place she uses to design custom digital pets. The two discuss their day. Then Mia tends to her greenhouse, harvesting ingredients for dinner. That evening, over their meal, they talk about their growing anxiety. Soon they'll begin the parenting assessment. Later, they get intimate, but Mia's thoughts drift back to the ocean memory. After Arion falls asleep, she returns to her plants for comfort. The next day, their assessor Virginia arrives. She'll live with them for a week to observe and decide if they're suitable parents. The couple can opt out of the process at any time. When Mia asks what criteria they'll be judged on, Virginia vaguely replies that knowing too much would affect the results. She wants to see their authentic selves. Virginia interviews them separately. She probes into their relationship, intimacy, and childhood experiences. Mia shares that her mother and sister were sent to the Old World when she was young, so she barely remembers them. Virginia suspects Mia's mother was a dissident and hints at concerns that Mia might share rebellious views, but Mia denies this. When asked why they want to be parents, Mia and Arion mention wanting to contribute to society's future, find personal fulfillment, and give a child a sense of belonging, something Mia admits she lacked in her own youth. Virginia then inspects the house. She criticizes the child's bed for having loose springs, despite the couple insisting the mattress is none. She approves of the master bedroom, but is unimpressed by Arion's virtual pet environment. In the greenhouse, she's intrigued that Mia only kept a single flower from her mother. Virginia demands full access to all areas of the home, already granted via the AI, and also requests new samples of bodily fluids, despite the couple having submitted them earlier, just to ensure no foul play. At dinner, Virginia doesn't hide her disapproval of Mia's homemade, plant-based meal. She asks about Arion's scar, and he explains that animal rights extremists attacked him because of his virtual bait invention. Ironically, his goal was to preserve what little wildlife remains. These radicals bombed his university lab, and he escaped by jumping through a window. They were later exiled to the Old World. Mia expresses support for this punishment, which prompts Virginia to ask if Mia thinks her own mother deserved the same fate. That night, as the couple goes to bed, Arion warns Mia not to let Virginia's comments about her mother provoke her. It's all part of the test. As they begin to get intimate, they suddenly realize Virginia is watching them. She bluntly explains that her evaluation must cover every aspect of their relationship, including their sex life. Though disturbed, the couple reluctantly continues, because they desperately want to have a child. The following morning, the couple questions Virginia about some unexpected bags of baby food that arrived, but she avoids answering and instead plays with a spoon. During breakfast, Virginia begins acting like a toddler, pushing her bowl around and banging on the table. Mia gets flustered, and Virginia accuses her of yelling. When Mia slams her fist on the table in frustration, things get tense. Arion diffuses the situation by turning it into a playful game to feed Virginia. She eventually eats on her own, but then starts throwing food at them. Arion swears when some food gets in his eye, prompting Virginia to repeat the curse words as he rushes to the bathroom. Mia helps him with eye drops, and they agree to start setting boundaries. Returning to the kitchen, they find food splattered everywhere and Virginia missing. They search the house and find messes in every room. In Arion's virtual office, a loud noise blares while Virginia dances. The couple tries to speak with her, but the sound drowns them out. Arion finally yells loud enough to stop the music and sternly tells Virginia the space isn't for play. She replies that this phase of the test is complete. Later that evening, another strange delivery arrives, a toy house meant for their future child. Virginia informs them they have until morning to assemble it. The oddly shaped pieces and unclear instructions make construction difficult. Just as they make progress, the structure collapses. Working through the night, they finally rebuild it, only to find one piece left over. Since the directions warn that all pieces must be used for safety, Mia runs to the beach and throws the leftover part into the ocean. In the morning, Virginia inspects the house and praises their work, even declaring her new room and asking for her belongings. Later, Virginia watches Arion at work and shares a story about her pet dog. When the government issued a pet culling, she chose to euthanize him herself rather than let a stranger do it, which devastated her. Ariane invites her to touch a virtual monkey he created, and she's impressed by its realistic fur. But she suddenly says she's bored and wants to play a game. When Mia checks on them, she finds Virginia and Ariane role-playing like wild animals in a jungle. Mia finds this odd, considering Ariane once said his back never fully recovered after diving through a window. The next day, they go to the beach to supervise Virginia, ensuring she stays safe. They play hide and seek, but Mia becomes upset when only Ariane and Virginia find each other. She also notices Virginia calling Ariane daddy. Mia tries to join when they build a sandcastle, but Virginia walks off to make her own. Feeling doubtful, Mia wonders if she's capable of parenthood, but Ariane reassures her that she's not like her mother. Suddenly, they realize Virginia is missing. Her shoes are found in the water. A wave soon washes her back onto the shore, and Mia rushes to help. However, Virginia coldly walks away. Frustrated, Mia blurts out that maybe she should have let her drown. Virginia storms off, and Ariane scolds Mia for reacting harshly. On the way home, Virginia asks Ariane to carry her. When it begins to rain, his back hurts, and he's forced to put her down. Mia offers to help, but Virginia insists she only wants daddy. Once they arrive at the house, Virginia refuses to enter. So Mia gently tells her she can still be angry, but at least do it inside where it's warm. This convinces her to come in. Mia later gives Virginia a bath, and they bond while playing with bubbles. While brushing her hair, Mia reminisces about her own mother doing this for her and kisses Virginia's head, finally feeling a sense of closeness. Soon after, a letter arrives announcing a dinner party that the couple must host. Virginia confirms it's another test. The couple hurriedly prepares a delicious meal and dresses in their best outfits. As guests begin to arrive, Virginia bursts out of the toy house, acting like a child. During dinner, Walter mentions that Mia used to be one of his most brilliant students, which clearly irritates his wife, Evie. Mia pulls Arya into the kitchen to reveal that, before she met him, she had a relationship with Walter, who took advantage of her when she was too young to understand what was happening. Mia is visibly shaken, but Arya comforts her, reminding her that the guests were chosen to provoke them, and they shouldn't let them win. When they return to the dining room, Mia has to help Virginia eat and prevent her from choking. Soon, a new guest arrives, Arya's mother, who isn't thrilled to be there. As Virginia continues to act out, Mia does her best to manage her behavior while the adults start debating whether having children is ethical in a world with limited resources. Rumors suggest that people beyond the border are recovering and reproducing, hinting that rebuilding the old world may be possible. As the conversation turns to population control, Virginia starts running around. When Mia tries to redirect her, Virginia hits her, but Mia stays calm and reassures her she's not angry, which helps settle her down. During a toast, Arya's mother ruins the moment by revealing that he had previously tried to have a child with another partner, but was denied. Mia is stunned and retreats to the kitchen. Arya follows and explains he kept it from her to avoid upsetting her, asking if they could talk about it later. Back at the table, Evie criticizes Mia's mother and people from the old world, boasting that at 153 years old, she remembers life before the collapse. Virginia climbs onto Evie's lap, asking her to share stories. Evie describes the struggle for survival during the apocalypse and insists the division of society was necessary to preserve humanity. She blames young people for wanting to reproduce and endangering that balance. Suddenly, Evie explodes in anger after Virginia pees on her. She shoves Virginia off her lap, causing her to fall. Mia, devastated, rushes to Virginia's side. When Evie cruelly says that bad parenting runs in Mia's family, Mia slaps her. After the guests leave, Mia tucks Virginia in a bed and is touched when the girl thanks her for defending her. But then Virginia unexpectedly kisses Mia on the lips, startling her. Mia immediately pulls away and goes to confront Arya about hiding his past. They argue, unaware that Virginia can hear everything. Arya says he kept it from her because he didn't want her to think he was unworthy. They both admit things are difficult, but reassure themselves that Virginia will leave in 2 days, again overheard by Virginia. That night, Virginia comes into their room after a nightmare. Arya tells her to go back to bed, but Mia allows her to stay. The next day, Mia gets a call from the hospital. Her sister is in the ICU after an embolism. She prepares to leave, but Arya warns her that leaving during the assessment could disqualify them. When they tell Virginia, she confirms that leaving would cancel the process. Mia argues that tending to family in crisis sets a good example for a child. Virginia reluctantly agrees, but Mia must return before 6 a.m. That night, Arya tries to sleep alone, but Virginia climbs into his bed, claiming another nightmare. She begins acting inappropriately, insisting it's part of the test and promising not to tell anyone. Though Arya resists, Virginia slaps him and forces herself on him until they both finish. When Mia returns, she finds them in bed together and wedges herself between them. The next morning, she reveals that it wasn't her sister in the hospital. There had been a mistake with someone who had the same name. Arya begins to suspect Virginia's involvement. Virginia calls Mia Mommy, try to charm her. Later, Mia asks Arya to watch Virginia while she goes for a swim. Virginia, bored, interrupts Arya while he's working, and he tells her they'll play later. Steps outside, Virginia tries calling after her, but gets no response. Angry, Virginia heads to the greenhouse and begins to destroy everything inside, damaging the gas lines and electrical cables. This causes a fire to break out. As smoke fills the air and debris blocks the door, Virginia panics, calling for help but quickly growing too weak to move. Mia sees the smoke in the distance while heading back and starts running. Meanwhile, the AI alerts Ariane about the emergency, but his trauma from a past bombing incident leaves him frozen in fear. Mia reaches the greenhouse and tries to break down the block door. She eventually smashes a hole large enough to crawl through, finds Virginia unconscious, and drags her out to safety. As they move far from the fire, Mia watches helplessly as her cherished greenhouse is consumed by flames. That night, Virginia refuses to eat and walks away from dinner. Mia follows her to the beach and accuses her of destroying the greenhouse, but Virginia says nothing and walks off again. The next day, Virginia tells the couple that they failed the assessment and won't be permitted to have a child. Arian panics, realizing he compromised himself for no reason. Mia, stunned, starts laughing in disbelief. Virginia ignores their reactions and leaves. Later, the couple eats lunch in silence. While cleaning the playhouse, Mia finds the extra toy piece Virginia used to cause the destruction. Enraged, she returns to the house and smashes the toy to pieces with a shovel, then breaks down emotionally. Arian hugs her until she calms down and says he has something to show her. He takes her to the virtual room and introduces a digital baby girl he created. Mia is briefly touched, but suddenly lets go, saying the baby doesn't smell like anything. It feels too fake. Arian begs her to believe they can be happy again, but Mia quietly tells him she can't do this anymore and walks out. Later, Mia tracks down Virginia, now living in a rundown apartment. Virginia threatens to call the police, but Mia demands to know the real reason they failed the test. After a heated exchange, Virginia finally confesses. No couple has passed the assessment in 6 years. It's all a sham ordered by the government to maintain hope. Assessors are told they'll get their own child if they complete enough evaluations, but most quit after a week under the pressure. Virginia then reveals she lost her own daughter and emotionally breaks down while recalling the trauma of her job. Mia sympathizes and asks if it's true that life is returning to the old world. In the final scenes, Virginia visits another couple, but unable to take it anymore, ends her life by jumping from a balcony. Ariane, now alone, uses VR to comfort himself, spending time with a simulation of Mia and a grown daughter. Meanwhile, Mia travels to the border, receives a hazmat suit, and enters the old world. Despite the toxic conditions, she removes her mask, determined to reconnect with a more natural life.